Hello Internet, so nice to see you! A few weeks ago I published a video on soloing with triad pairs, and some of you told me that when you play triad pairs you don't sound new or exciting and that you want more spice in your solos. Well, tell you what, I have exactly the right thing for you. I'm going to show you how you can get very exotic sounds, very interesting and sometimes dissonant sounds out of playing with triad pairs. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about and how triad pairs work for lead guitar, I do recommend you click the link on the top right and check the previous video on this topic. What follows now is a short segment of an online masterclass I gave to some of my students. I do recommend you watch everything from beginning to end so you can understand what I'm talking about. The first few options I show are simple, conventional, easy listening options if you want, and then gradually I go into more complex and more exotic sounding options. There are a few of them that I really love and I do recommend you try them out because they sound different and fascinating. Here we go. With the same triad pairs, we can play over many chords. So, for instance, if I take two major chords 2 fret apart, what I just played were two major chords 2 fret apart. I was playing the G major chord and the F major chord. Two major chords, 2 frets apart. With those, I can play over all those chords. I can play over a major 7th chord. I can play over a dominant 7th chord in two different ways. I can play over a minor 7th chord in two different ways, and I can play over an altered 7 dominant in one way. Okay, so two major chords, 2 frets apart, give me all those sounds that you see here without having to learn all those scales and without having to learn how the altered scale work and all these kind of things. How do we choose the triads? We take our scale, whatever our scale is, okay? And we pick two triads as long as they don't have any common note. Okay, so I don't want, for instance, to pick C and G as triad because they both have the G note inside, and this will make it harder for me later, and it also gives me less notes to work with. So I want to pick two triads that don't have common notes. Those are easy to spot because they are the triad close by. Okay, the one where the root is one step up or down the previous one. Okay. For instance, if I'm playing on a G7, I can use the G Mixolydian scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, okay? I can pick any of those triads pair. I can pick G and A minor and B diminished, or B diminished and C, or C and D minor, or D minor and D minor, or E minor and F, or F and G. F and G being two major chords a step apart is the first example we're going to do, of course. Okay, you have 7 choices. So you can also personalize these a lot. If you don't like the standard choices, here are a few more suggestions, for instance, on a C minor chord, okay? You can give a Dorian sound with C minor, D minor, 2 minor triads. You can give a melodic minor sound with F and G, again, 2 major triad, 2 frets apart. You can give an Aeolian sound with C minor, B flat, or a Phrygian sound with C minor, D flat. Harmonic minor sound with F minor G, and a Dorian sharp 4 sound, which sounds great by the way, with C minor D. If you guys want to sound different, this Dorian sharp 4 is totally recommended, okay? It just sounds strange. So this is C minor, D major. Different than what you would expect. Notice that both in those examples and in those examples, you don't have to pick the original triad. So if you're playing on C minor, one of the triad can be C minor, but it may also be that you don't use C minor as your triad when you solo, okay? Just making sure this was clear. Good. Those triads, by the way, don't have to be part of a scale. So far we just said, okay, we pick a scale, we choose two triads, okay, and those were just examples. But you can pick chords that are not part of a scale. For instance, you can try those over a C major chord, and all those will give a pretty interesting sound, okay? You can try C and F sharp, or C and A major, or C and E flat major, C and E major, C and A flat major. And yes, I know that if you search hard enough and long enough, all those triads come from some kind of scale, okay? But when I wrote these, I didn't think about scale. I just think, okay, what are the triads that are more distant from the original triad? And all those give a cool sound. So this is stuff that you can try to. I'm giving all those options right now so that if you're bored by the standard sound, you can choose to practice with a different kind of sound, okay? You don't have to know all this stuff by heart right now, because in the following, you're going to use only 2 triad, okay? Anyway, since I know some people are really nitpickers here, and they are going to think, but all those triads do come from a scale or some specific scale. Again, we are on the internet. I'm expecting people to be nitpickers. So to console you, here's a kitten for you. Yes, those triads come from a scale. Calm down. We're going to go ahead and do something practical now. How do we play them? Because that's the thing. Now we say we have the triads, but how do we actually play them? How do we actually make them sound? How do we actually create melodies with those? Okay, so the method to learn all this stuff, it's in a sense easy. Okay, we start from the simple stuff we can do with the triad. Then we make them more and more complex. We make our life harder on purpose, so we just add complication on top. Okay. We start easy, we make it progressively harder. By the end, what we can play gets ridiculous. You're gonna see, okay? Some of this stuff, I need to sight read it because I just can't learn it by heart, okay? So you're gonna see me toward the end playing these really slowly and carefully because some of this stuff is ridiculous. It's up to you then to pick the sounds you want among all the ones we do and make them your own. The important thing that you'll have to remember from this point on, though, is this, is that for all the exercises we're going to do, you don't have to just learn the theory. The important thing is that you have to train. Okay? Training is important. You have to practice. Don't practice too fast. Okay? Everything you're going to do needs to be put on the fretboard. The first thing I recommend you to do is to try all those options using the exercise I've shown in the previous video on triad pairs. Spending a little bit of time here really gives you a lot of options, really pays off in terms of you being able to express yourself on the guitar. And you're going to find really soon that the limiting factor, the bottleneck if you want, it's how fast you can find those triads on the guitar. Playing them is not that hard after all. You need to fidget a bit with the fingering, but it's not super hard. It's finding all those triads in real time that is the thing that it's most computationally expensive if you want. It's harder for your brain. If you want to make finding triads easy and you want to become super fast at that, so you can use triad pairs as second nature and you can do a million other great things on your guitar that sounds absolutely fantastic, then I recommend you have a look at the Complete Chord Mastery guitar course. Complete Chord Mastery, it's not a book. It's a complete video course that takes you from the basics up. We do everything you need to know about harmony and chords on your guitar. All the theory is done straight on the fretboard. There is no theory for the sake of theory here. Everything is immediately practical and everything is developed through exercises so you know how to apply these immediately on your guitar. If you have just a minute, click on the link on the top right to check out Complete Chord Mastery. If you like this video, smash on that like button and don't forget to subscribe and click on notification, otherwise YouTube will not let you know when I put up a new video. And if you have any comment, feedback, suggestions, write them down in the comment. I enjoy reading from you and I make videos on your suggestions. This is Tommaso Zillia of musictheoryforguitar.com and until next time, enjoy!